Hello, my name is Shadley. Welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as Korea. In previous episode we managed to get at least a little bit closer to the economic independence, although the dependence is still fairly high. But I think we are slowly reaching that point though. We've got a decent bit of money coming in right now because we're not actually building any with the government. And I think what we are going to do actually right now is we're actually going to build up a little bit more of the second Korean army. We currently only have infantry there, so we're going to go ahead and recruit a bit of artillery for that as well. I think I'm going to go put that into the... I think to the southwest, actually. It's going to cost us a little bit, of course, but those will be done fairly quickly, so it's not going to be too bad of a cost. So we are researching the breech-loading artillery as well, which will allow us to increase the power of artillery a decent bit, and it will probably get us to at least... I would probably assume close to 300 prestige, at least. And then we are going to be focusing a lot on society techs for the next probably episode or two. Because we need to catch up on a lot of these, and those will allow our economy to start flourishing a lot more. So it's going to be pretty useful. We are currently below our max innovation in terms of the points that we're actually putting in there. But what is going to happen once we get the dialects research, which is going to be the next research, that's going to allow us to get another 50% off our universities, which is going to be a fairly decent amount. It's probably going to be another 20 points or so. So we should be pretty good in that regard, and looks like the artillery is mostly already built up. And there's the breech-loading artillery, excellent. Let's go ahead and upgrade the artillery on the both of these armies, actually. That's probably going to cost us a little bit extra. Oh wait, no, that's the first barracks. Yeah, there's another 3 underway. Okay, so a little bit more delays there. We'll be taking a little bit loans. We are also getting some furniture manufactories and other things like that. Also another glasswork, actually. How's the market looking like, by the way? Munitions are pretty high price. Paper are pretty high. I mean, munitions now are even higher price because of our changes there. Aggressive campaigning. Okay, so Conservative Party is going to be probably easily winning the election again. Not too much I can do about that, unfortunately. But there we go. Now that the construction is mostly done, what we'll probably do is we'll still continue building like one building at a time with the government construction, but let the private sector take over most of it. And we've got a little bit credit actually, so we do need to pay that back at some point. It probably would be better to pay it back immediately, so that it's not going to linger too long. If we have a look at the prestige difference, they do have 2.4 times more than what we have. So we've got quite a bit of work to do to catch up on there. But with the cold relations with them, we're actually getting some liberty desire in the meanwhile. Man over machine. Momentum for the agrarian party. Okay. They do like us a little bit. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. There might be a few more votes away from the conservatives at least. There we go, so the military is increasing, we're now getting a bit of money, although it might not be quite as much as I was hoping for, or at least it used to be. But regardless, it's going to be good. Now, our army is still relatively small compared to the Chinese one, of course. If we were to catch up in size, it would be quite expensive, but that might actually allow us to catch up in prestige a bit more. They got 707 right now. But it will probably take quite some time. Oh, okay. An uprising going on, but we are getting a motor industries underway already. And then the fishing wharf, okay, so there's a lot of construction work, including a railway in our capital. Actually, that means that the infrastructure issues there will be sorted out, at least for the time being. And are we now debt-free? Not quite yet, so we're going to let that be as is for now. We still need another 18 months for the dialects. The quinine will be researched in, you know, relatively soon. Well, sooner than the dialects by the looks of it. Although, I don't know, actually, the exact difference, because this one, if we start researching, that's going to be the estimate, so it might actually still take longer. But yeah, we've got that now. What's spreading in the production? That's the rotary valve engine, and then in military, we're going to... Oh, counter cranes, now that is going to be a good one. Because that's going to allow us to start building the steamers instead of the clippers, and start using that, especially for the whaling. That's going to be a really good boost for our... Well, actually, partially for our prestige, actually. Because we are one of the leading producers of... Oh, both clippers and manowar. Oh, so we're no longer a leading producer of oil, but clippers and manowars, yes. We might be one of the few producers of those at this point, though. Because, I mean, it's almost 1900 already, so... Yeah, there is that. But we did increase the military alliance at least a little bit, and we did indeed get over 300 prestige. Right, yeah, there's still liberties going up, but we've got 53 right now. We need to get to up to 90 to get independence. We can't do any of the demands right now. But maybe soon enough we can. There we go, now we're making a bit more money. We've got a small gold reserve. What do we need? Oh, actually, I remember now. I wanted to check on... Maybe we don't buy opium, that doesn't seem to be profitable. What we could do is we can probably try to sell some of the alcohol. I know that we've got still tons and tons in our market. We could sell to Japan, but we are rivals, so I don't know how well that is going to turn out. Alternatively, actually, let me double check. What are we selling right now? We're importing oil and paper and opium. We're selling some silk. Because the Russian market is going to be at least a good in terms of quantity there. So that'll probably help. We might need to actually get some more bureaucracy. How are we looking on the taxation? So our capital is actually now the biggest deficit in that. So let's go ahead and build a government administration up there. We've got some paper mills in there as well, so it should be relatively well supplied. And loyalist numbers aren't exactly great. There is a few movements, but nothing too massive. And since the Conservative Party is in the command of most of the... Oh, right, there's the election results. Let's have a look. If we take the... Well, it won't really change much if we take the Free Trade Party, and the Free Trade Party is actually fairly influential. So, is there anything that we could try to pass? There's the... Oh, we could go for private schools. Less conversion. Education access might be... a little different. It would be less education access for the poor, but it would be more education access to the more wealthy individuals. Plus, intelligentsia would get some more power. That might not be a terrible idea, actually. Let's have a look at some of the other options. Okay, census suffrage, there's a little bit of support for that, but the industrialists oppose it. Oh, and theocracy, no, that's not going to be happening. We can't change the censorship. We're not going to go back to tenant farmers. Taxation laws we're not going to change right now. Protectionism intervention is not actually pretty decent. Although free trade does have a bit of support, but that would radicalize landowners. And armed forces. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen right now. I think I'm going to go try and pass the private schools. I mean, there's no real opposition to it. And it might actually, in the long run, once the standard of living starts increasing and all that, it might actually increase the literature rate speed even further. Although right now, it's definitely been growing quite nicely. It's, in the past, I don't know, 10, 20 years, it's been pretty, well, it's probably 10 years, yeah. It's been pretty good boost there. Prestige is still 300. We are getting 85 from the army. Okay, so that's decent amount. We could probably increase that even further, but right now we're going to try to save up a bit of money by doing some more construction and all that, of course, at the same time. But the GDP is now, well, it hasn't grown too much yet today. But it is on the rise, and what are we doing now with the private sector? So classworks, railway, motor industries, fishing, livestock, another railway. Okay, I mean, I suppose building the railways is not necessarily a bad thing. It saved me a bit of trouble. Oh, did they actually build a textile mill, or was I reading that wrong? Oh no, it definitely showed the textile mill, but it could be that things were changing or shifting around there. So, hard to tell. But regardless, our GDP will hopefully increase. How's the economic dependence at this point? It's still 2.1 there. But the difference in GDP is actually... Okay, so they got a bit more than 3 times what we have. So they got probably about 90 million. 94 million. That'd be fair enough, I suppose. They got a lot bigger population, mind you, but the literacy rate is a lot less there. Standard of living is very rough. I mean, actually, how high are we on the list? 101. Okay, so we're not very high on the list there. I suppose it could be a lot worse. Now, in the meanwhile, Bengal is independent. They are a great power as well. They got a bit of war going on. You wonder, well, I suppose there's not much I can do with them, is there? Not really. They would not support our independence. Actually, is there anyone else that would? Let's have a look at that. Nope. Not really. I don't suppose I can... No, I can't damage the relations because they're already cold. And they are, well, they are slowly improving. Oh, rousing speed captivates the public. You know, the industrialists are quite powerful already. Well, let's take the boost there. For now. And we did get the bureaucracy increase a bit further. But what's the next worst place? Shanghai, so that's the southwestern state. Do we have debt? Yeah, we got a little bit of debt, so we can wait a few moments for that. Oh, we're getting another shipyard as well. Okay. Another logging camp. So the economy is definitely growing a lot faster than what it used to be. We are currently spending a bit of money from the investment pool, but since we've got 4 million in there, we're going to afford using quite a bit of it. I'm actually considering maybe increasing the construction speed even further. Maybe not huge amounts, but like a tiny bit somewhere. It could be in our capital. Because well, actually, there's still plenty of peasants there. Where do we have? Well, we've got a lot more peasants down here, to be fair. You know what, I'm just going to go and build another construction sector. The investment pool will start diminishing then quite a bit, but at the same time, a lot of that money then just goes into the economy, which is honestly not a bad thing. As it gets reinvested, and I suppose we are still about 50% in peasants. Just barely, though. So that is at least slowly going down. Of course, there's a lot of work to do there. Ooh, who deserves the credit? Well, the farmers will get the credit. Foreign manifesto. Total separation. Sure. Not necessarily entirely opposed to that. That might allow us to change some other laws as well. Oh, right. Krejing is investing more in our... Yeah, they are getting a few more buildings done. Which I suppose does still increase our GDP and all that, but I don't know. Right now, the growth is a bit slow. I'm sure that will probably pick up some speed sooner or later. So paper and ammunition are still quite expensive, and we do not have the steel mills higher than level 2 anyway, do we? Not yet. Oh, and that's a lot of buildings just got completed. So there's a silk plantation. Oh, paper mill. There we go. That's going to be good. Ammunition is something that we could use a bit more. We got a little bit bureaucracy. It doesn't give us a huge amount of state construction efficiency, but it does help a little bit still. Plus, I suppose it might open up a possibility to upgrade it. Ooh, health system. We could increase that. You know, I'm going to do that. But it does mean that we'll need to build another government administration somewhere. Academic assistance. I'd say the research is more important right now. We want to get the dialects done as soon as possible. But in the meanwhile, let's go ahead and build... So Django is going to get another government administration, I suppose. That's going to get us to level 13 there. Alright then. But it does allow us to get a little bit more taxes back again. I mean, we are still having quite a bit unrealized taxes, to be fair. It's not the worst. Like, the percentages of the unrealized taxes are actually a lot smaller than what they used to be. But it just takes a lot of buildings to actually cover all of that. Now, that being said, I suppose in the research, so we're getting the dialects now, so that's going to help with the research, of course. Then we're going to get the corporate charters, which is going to allow us to have a state-controlled company. Or, well, not state-controlled, but, you know, we get some boosts from the companies. Then we're going to get the modern sewage, so that's going to reduce the need for infrastructure. Well, we'll have more infrastructure available. And we can do more land trade. The construction progress is going to be sped up a little bit. And we're going to have more construction sectors, which is also quite nice. After that, we'll get the egalitarianism, which is going to unlock some other... Oh, that's going to unlock the universal suffrage. Oh, and proportional taxation. Unlocks a radical party. That leads to some other tax. Including labor movement, I suppose. But yeah, then after that, we'll get the joint stock companies. And then at that point, it's probably going to be labor movements, if that hasn't already spread or on its own to us. Although I suppose egalitarianism is going to take a little while still. Well, there we go. Now we're at 29, sorry, million in GDP. And I'm guessing, oh, right, things aren't improving right now because the relations with Jing aren't the best. We can't really damage the relations right now. Yeah, no, it's actually going down because it's, technically speaking, just poor relations. Well, we did manage to get a decent bit out of it, at least. So maybe we're going to fix that soon enough. But now with the construction speed, the investment pool, even though the government is building stuff, it is still diminishing a tiny bit. So we kind of reach an equilibrium in that regard. No bread, no freedom. Yeah, I'd rather not get too much radicals in there. Do we have any... Oh, we do have an agitator for the total separation. I mean, you know, I'm not necessarily... Again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not necessarily entirely opposed to that. That is Niger. Okay. Not exactly what I expected. Oh, right, it's a revolt from the French in Niger. Okay, grassroots support for the law. I'll take a more loyalist. That'll actually help a lot with various other things. Reduce the radicals definitely quite a bit. But yeah, if we can get over 30 million today, that'd be quite nice. We've still got a fairly limited amount of time to catch up with the industry and all that. I think we could have probably done a lot more things to speed up the early growth, which would have meant a lot better situation at this point in time, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and pay off some of the credit, so that we can then, you know, not have to pay the interest rates. So actually, how is our company? Oh, we don't have any yet. Oh, bollocks. Right, well, that's why we kind of need that one then. The joint stock companies anyway. Because that's honestly, or corporate charter, sorry, so that's going to allow us to have at least one. And then joint stock companies is going to have another one. Plus, it's going to reduce the urbanization required for each urban center, which means that the services and all that are going to be much more prevalent. What's the private sector doing now? There's a lot of resources, like sulfur, fishing, coal, livestock. And there's 2 paper mills, munitions plants, and fertilizer plants. So actually, that's not too shabby. The Chinese are still building some more mines in our nation, which does mean that at least there's a bit more resource available in the market, so it's not really all bad. We do still have a little bit convoys available as well. I wonder if we could... oh, there's tobacco. Could we sell that to someone? I mean, yes, but also not necessarily. Let's try to sell that to Japanese. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? But there we go, 35.5% on the literary rate. It's a little bit shy on the GDP to reach a 30 million. If we do have a look at the economic entangle, we are still there's still 2.1 sort of points in there, which is not exactly great. If we can get that to below 1, I believe that's then going to start helping us, but right now we're not there. Oh, popular playwright. You know what, I could probably get the extra prestige temporarily. It might not really help with the... oh, there we go, so there's 1.9 times our prestige now. So we're catching up at least a tiny bit there. And is there anything else in... oh, leading producer of... oh, we are third highest producer of oil. We are the second highest producer of clippers. And the third largest producer of man o' wars. Now, to be fair, there's aren't necessarily that much required at this stage. So, you know, it's not necessarily a huge threshold to reach that point. But I suppose at least the gantry cranes are spreading. Still going to take a while, though. And in production, the rotary valve engine is going to take a while. But I'm just thinking that we need to catch up in these things, especially the dialects is going to speed up a lot of research. Well, I suppose it's going to be a bit of it, more than 5 points per week then. And once the literary rate grows, it's going to be even more. So while we're, speaking of literary, we're trying to pass the private schools, but that hasn't really gone forward yet. I mean, we've gotten a lot of bonuses in there, mind you, but it hasn't gotten much beyond that, really. We did get a lot of loyalists and some more prestige, temporary prestige, mind you. Prestige nonetheless. But yeah, there's not too much I can do there. How we're looking on the wasted taxes, there's still 36,000. It just stays basically the same. Things to say, oh, could use a bit more. I guess we can go ahead and build another government administration down there. It's going to cost us a little bit, but we did manage to get a small gold reserve at least. So that's definitely going to help. And the dialects will be researched very shortly. That's going to require a bit more paper in each university, but honestly, I think we can manage that. And then that's going to speed up the research quite nicely. There we are. Let's go and check on the university. Oh, right, actually. The artillery, we can go for the breech loaders now. That's going to reduce the iron usage, a bit more steel consumption, which does mean that the steel mills might start upgrading. And that's going to be a lot more artillery. So we'll do that one. I've got to do that earlier. And the university philosophy department, that's going to double the paper consumption. So the costs in there... oh, there we go. Philosophy department completed. So we can get throughput 25% boost, or we can get... no, I'm going to get the progress on our tech. Because we are basically at our innovation cap anyway. So trying to get even more out of it is not necessarily that much worth it. There we go. So where's the... oh, right, it's down here. So that's going to be more influence, more maneuvers per diplomacy play, and less bureaucracy population cost multiplier. So, you know, it's definitely got some uses there. So now we've got 19 months for the corporate charters. Not ideal, but at least we are getting a decent bit in there. Ooh, this go within the armed forces. How's the intelligentsia? They are relatively powerful. Yeah, we're just gonna use the support of the armed forces. Eventually, we do definitely need to try to pass some better voting laws. Ooh, our GDP did drop a little bit. Well, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so what we do need to do is we need to definitely get some better voting laws, so it's not just the sort of very high elites that will vote. So that we might be able to get some more power to other groups as well. But it is what it is right now. So the munitions plant... Oh, what's this then? Mining accident. We'll support the rule folk, I suppose, with that. Right, so munitions plant will be done in 6 weeks. Another paper mill will be done in 7. Fertilizer plant, another iron mine, fishing wharf, another shipyard, another coal mine. And then the government administration, of course. Oh, is this one... Oh, the agitator retired. It was a royalist, okay. Is there anyone else that we could actually invite then? Probably helps if we just invite... A colonial resettlement. We're not going to be using that one, so yeah, no. Don't really need that. We're playing tall, not wide. Yeah, no, that economy is now having some issues. Which is not great. How's the Chinese counterpart in the meanwhile then? Ooh, 97.2 million. So they're almost 4 times as large now. Well, okay, about 3.5, I suppose. But it's still quite a difference in there. I suspect that as the private sector starts to... Oh, health system... There we go. Population is going to start increasing even further. Which I suppose does mean more consumption of things in the market. Which might mean that the buildings will have more stuff to do and all that. Oh, tooling workshop in the northeastern state. Very good. The paper mill in there as well. Foreign crews are building more mines. But yeah, the investment pool is going down fairly quickly. Now, to be fair, the private sector, or the government sector, or I suppose public sector is the word that I'm looking for. The government isn't building anything right now, so there's that. I could probably go ahead and just increase the army size a little bit further. If we just go ahead and get another, I don't know, 5 battalions of infantry, for example. It may not give us a lot of prestige, but it will at least allow us to have a somewhat formidable army, so foreign nations are less likely to invade us. Which will definitely help us along the long run, and of course just increasing our prestige. Oh, there we go, Lord Fortnite Process drafting. Well, about time. But yeah, that will be a bit expensive since we're building 5 buildings at a time. Well, technically speaking, only 3 are being built currently. Those don't take too long. There's another sulfur mine. Okay, so I'm guessing there's a lot of demand for sulfur now. Oh, yeah, there is. What's the buy orders? Okay, so there's a bit of trade routes. There's the fertilizer plants, paper mills, explosive factories. I suppose that does track. Oh, that reminds me, did we ever get the dynamite research yet? No, not yet, okay. That's going to be yet another thing that requires a lot of explosives. We haven't gotten the improved fertilizer yet either. But yeah, we're just going to focus on the society text right now. So what is the quinine is... still going to take a little while, I suppose. We'll probably get at least halfway done with the corporate charters in the meanwhile. But there we go, at least the innovation... Oh, we can produce up to 120 innovation now. Yeah, okay, so the literary rate going up would be quite useful. I mean, it is definitely climbing. But how quickly remains to be seen. It looks like the military is mostly built up already to the next stage there. So how we're looking on the... Well, I suppose actually... yeah, we're getting 87 from the army. We do not get a lot from the navy here. We've got 10 flotillas. Might want to increase that at some point. We don't really have a lot of options yet since we haven't gotten the ironclads or anything like that going. But there we go. Private sector is taking over all the construction again. I'm guessing we got fairly good well, actually, there might be some problems with infrastructure. Yeah, there is. No, actually, no, that's not a problem yet. I guess everything seems to be... I mean, there's a little bit of tax collection issues, of course. But that's been the case for the entire playthrough. How we're looking on the debt? We actually got a tiny bit gold reserves, or basically just paid off the debt. Okay, so we could perhaps go ahead and just build up another government administration. We'll build that in Yongnam. That's in the southeastern state. At this point, though, we've got such a huge amount of industry in here that what I'm going to do is I'm going to start changing the decrees from the encourage agriculture, at least over there, to increase manufacturing. It might change a little bit of... well, I suppose, honestly, we don't really need the agriculture boost over there either. There we go. I suspect that that might actually have quite a nice impact on the productions. Because there's a decent bit of industries in here. Agriculture, we've still got plenty of agriculture room. So that shouldn't be a problem. Or neither one of those, really. I'm just hoping that it's... well, it's probably going to take a little while for everything to sort of ramp up the production. That will probably increase the total throughput. At least I hope so. But it might also mean that a bit more people will then become laborers. Oh yeah, there we go. Peasants are less than 50% now of the population. They're still the biggest individual group, of course, but there's a bit less of them now than what they used to be. Because the population is still increasing fairly largely, so it could well be that the amount of peasants hasn't actually dropped that much. It's just everything else has started increasing it at the side there. Though at the same time, motor industries in our capital are being increased. Oh, fair enough. I mean, what's in demand on the... oh, explosives are in high demand. And where do we... I know that we produce some of it. Yeah, actually, we're the only one producing explosives in the entire market right now. There's no one buying. Oh, they're using the iron mines, gold mines, and munition plants, of course. So, yeah, explosive factory would be probably a fairly useful thing to have. Now, I don't know if we're going to use the government construction to do that. We probably could, mind you, but we probably won't do that at least yet. Well, I want to get a little bit more bureaucracy to be able to do other things as well. Because the private schools, I believe, I don't actually remember if that directly increases the... oh, there we go, okay, 88% now of passing that, okay. Right, but I just oh. Hold on a minute, so there was something regarding... oh, right, yeah, the institutions. We could potentially increase the education law a bit further. Of course, that will be changing, or the law will be changing soon enough, but we can increase that by another level. So if we get some more bureaucracy built up, that will allow us to do that faster. So, and I think that will actually help us a lot with the innovation and catching up on text and all that. So I think that is something that we need to focus on with the government construction works. Let's have a look at, okay, so Jiangho, so southwestern states, could use another government administration. It's going to get us to 14 in there already. I mean, suppose the boost over there should be slowly increasing. Now, let's have a quick look if there's anyone willing to support our independence. Nope. We're not really doing a lot of relation increase, though, so that's part of the reason why we're not really getting that. And we're back to 29.3 million GDP. Let's have a look. How is the economy stuff? Oh, it's 2.2 again. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they've gotten a bit more stuff built. But it's only about 3.3 times the GDP, okay. So they've got probably about 94 million then? 97, okay, so not exactly what I was hoping for. But yeah, the GDP, while it has been increasing, it hasn't been increasing that quickly. Admittedly, ours hasn't really been increasing too much for the past few years. But there is a lot of construction work going on. I'm sure that that will help a lot. Now, I do wonder if I should switch the other two states also to go to the encourage industry, while the, you know, resource production and all that is quite nice. I think we've got already a decent bit, so I think we are actually going to go full on industry. Oh, there we go, 29.5 million. How's that going to change now? Oh, well, it went down a little bit. Overall, I think it might actually be increasing. Oh, General's misfired cannon. Oh, right. Yeah, we'll have him step down. I believe we now have an army without a leader. Or at least without one of the leaders. Let's get the offensive planner in there. But with that, I believe we are actually... well, actually, no, let's wait for the roll. We can probably pass the... there we go, private school has done. Now that we've got that, political movement disbanded. Not that, we might want to increase the army size a little bit soon enough again, but we've got it in a fairly good situation right now. So with that, we are out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.